Welcome to Wealthy Mind, where we talk about all things finances, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the surprising.
Welcome to Wealthy Mind. I am your host, Misty Rose Gold, International Success Coach. And here at Wealthy Mind, we love to help you create and maintain a wealthy mind. Today, I have with me Nick Rizzi. Hi, Nick.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
This is going to be a fun conversation. So please tell the audience, what is the name of your business?
I am the owner of Happy Homes. We place happy people into happy homes.
See, I told you guys it's going to be fun. Happy. Yes. And
It's the
if,
brand and a privilege, right?
right? And it's not just something that you say. Like, if any of you have the honor of meeting Nick in person, he's genuinely a happy dude.
Yeah, I think it's especially important with what I'm doing because it's stressful, it's hard, it's a lot. You still have life
Hmm.
happening while you're trying to buy a house. And a
Hmm.
lot of my clients are dealing with kind of awful things sometimes, whether that's death or divorce. And the intent and emotions of going in of we're going to take care of you, we're going to get it set, and at the end you'll be happy with the outcome. That's what we wanted to put forward, and that's what I try to live. So good to know that at least you feel that way too, Misty.
Yes, you do a good job. It's something that I've always noticed about you in the years that we've known each other. So I love it. It's
Thank you.
it's it's brand congruency.
I love it, and it actually did come first. I Happy Homes was started after people started calling me that happy guy. So
Very nice. I mean, how funny would it be if you had that business name of Happy Homes and you were angry and pissy all the time?
my favorite character from that Pixar movie with the emotions is
Oh
the
yeah,
angry one. So I like the angry dad a
with
lot.
the flaming hair.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It's like joy and sadness and then anger, and he's the best.
right? God, Inside Out is the name of that.
That's it. Inside Out. Yeah.
I just watched the second one. The second one is great too.
Yeah, that was amazing. And the new
Yeah,
characters, new feelings were great.
I know. Like, it's not apathy, but it's apathy. Like the one,
Yeah.
the French one is like,
Yeah.
who cares? Whatever.
Just on his phone the whole time.
Yeah.
That's definitely, I'm all of those all at the same time.
And then anxiety. Oh,
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
ah,
I feel that.
mm,
It's a little
goodness.
too realistic. Like,
I think it's great. Those movies are great because it is so real. It's like this is really what's going on inside of us as we develop and then we grow up and we get more emotions that come in and we're like, oh, that's new. I have to learn how to juggle that too. Okay, cool.
yeah. And different ones always drive. I like seeing that. Like seeing the adults' emotions was pretty great. So
Right? I relate to joy. Like you love happy homes, happy is your thing, like joy is my thing.
I
So
love it.
I could totally relate when Joy was like freaking out because anxiety was taking over.
Yeah, I mean, and it's easy for that. I feel like that was a lot of good parallels between actual adulthood and
Uh-huh.
life. Like a lot.
Totally. I'm just like, I'm right there with Joy. I'm like, don't need this, don't need this, don't need this. I just want joy.
Yeah, just pick and choose our core memories. Well, anyway,
Yeah.
thank you for having me. So,
Yes. Well, I hope we made everybody laugh and forget about their troubles for a minute. So, uh, let's dive into your topic. I think you're the first realtor that I've had on this show, so welcome on board.
No pressure, right?
No pressure whatsoever. None. We are going to talk about today how real estate gives us financial options and freedom. We're going to have a money conversation about real estate, being a realtor, and that's how we're going to spin it today. So let's go. Let's talk about real estate and how that equals freedom.
I love it. First thing I want to bring up is a book called The Millionaire Next Door, and it was very impactful at all stages. I try and read it like at least every year going forward because of big running themes. They interview a bunch of millionaires that they think are going to show up in BMWs and gold-plated cars and Armani suits, and all of them show up in like ripped jeans, 20-year-old cars, t-shirts or button downs, like well put together people, but not
Hmm. Not
extravagant.
flashy. Yeah, not
Not
flashy,
flashy,
extravagant.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they found that in reality, millionaires are not what we think of when we look at TV.
Hmm.
Millionaires are actually your neighbor who is driving that 15, 20-year-old truck, who actually may have three or four other investment homes and
Hmm.
uh, just is very smart with their money. They don't need to get flashy, they're just smart with it. And I got into a big piece of this. I got into entrepreneurship as a whole because one running theme in that book is the average American only tends to get like three or four streams of income. It's your W-2, it is your retirement income, your fixed income. When you retire, your investments, maybe your home equity if you've got it, and most of them have four. Millionaires have seven. And that's like everything that this was built around. Uh, Usually, business, like a W-2 into business, is two of them. But the other big piece that I got into with real estate was owning property to help you
Mm.
create wealth. And that is not something that you have to be a realtor for. It is not something that you need a lot of money to do. It takes a lot of intention and a good trusted source. And so that's why I wanted to get into this, because I think everybody deserves to get out of the quote unquote rat race. And
Yes.
I believe you can do that. The best, fastest, and easiest way to do that is through owning real estate.
Incredible. So tell us how. How does somebody who knows nothing about this process, let's speak to the most uninformed person in the room, not the dumbest person in the room, but the most uninformed.
Yeah. No, I mean that's how you start, right? You got to get excited about a
Yeah.
topic. You got to figure out what you don't know. How are
Hmm.
you supposed to learn if you don't know what you don't know? Um, the thing that I have come to realize that most of my clients, most people do not understand is the government created this body of tax code called the IRS that collects on taxes owed. And there is
Mm.
a very complicated, very difficult formula behind that. But the complications are the advantages that was built for us. And the masses do not take advantage of those. They think you just pay what's owed, not really understanding that what's owed is by the code, by the tax code. And that's sort of like the first thing that I just want to push out and separate, because I can't file my own taxes. I did it once, I messed it up and I had to have somebody fix it. And especially now that I'm a business owner, like that is not where I live. But what I do know is, okay, what are all of these people that I want to emulate doing? And an
Mm.
understanding of that is key and is big. And I'm saying it like that because a lot of people equate home ownership to just that payment. They're treating it like rent is going out. And now that I'm deeper into the game and I've seen both sides,
Mm.
it's a lot bigger than that in just understanding what your opportunities and liabilities are. And home ownership just gives you so many advantages to save on your taxes owed in all aspects of your life versus just related to that purchase, just related to owning the house itself. Because you can do a lot with interest, you can do a lot at sale, you can do a lot with appreciation. And then the biggest, and in terms of getting into that piece too, is you can get given a lot to start. It's a time game. Um, an investor is at a disadvantage because if, you know, Jeff as an investor wants to go buy a property as a rental,
Hmm.
Jeff needs to come up with 20 to 25% down payment to go buy that property to rent it out to somebody paying rent while Jeff pays his mortgage with that rent. A homeowner, if you're living in it, you only need 1 to 5%. We'll say actually like 1.5 to 5%. Um, I've got a program going right now that we're making home ownership possible with just $1,000 down because of the
Mm.
crazy market that we're living in. And you can use that to live in it, pay your own rent to yourself, pay your mortgage, not someone else's. But if you want, and what I'm coaching a lot of people on doing, use that to build your 7 streams of income because you can keep that lower interest rate primary mortgage, move
Hmm.
out to buy another property, and then turn that into a rental and let someone else pay your mortgage. It's called house hacking. I think every American should be doing it for different stages of life. And there's a lot of forms that you can do it, but it's how we take back control from mega conglomerates like they who shall not be named, but we all
Thank
hate.
you.
So
Thank
we'll
you.
cut it there. Yeah.
Thank you for keeping it PC. I appreciate it.
Yes. But the point is just like we should be doing it. That's we the people deserve this, not the companies.
Okay, so let's go deeper into how does owning properties equal financial freedom?
There's a lot of ways that these investments in your life play together, and it's easier to kind of treat them as separate entities. So if Nick is working a W-2, that has its own level of income. If I'm paying into a retirement account, that can go up and down, follows the stock market, but that's its
Hmm.
own level. You pass it off and it's now moving in its own direction. Um, if you've got a mortgage and you buy a house, that is now its own opportunity set up in terms of the can operate on its own like a mortgage or like a the stock market as well because of home ownership appreciation and where home values go. It absolutely can go down, but
Hmm.
since the inception of the United States, it has evened out. If you look over our entire history period, it has
Hmm.
evened out to be a steady climb, with real estate being a good, steady investment. We've had ups, we've had downs. 2009 through 11 was a very big deep down, and then it kind of went back up. 2021 to 2023-ish was a pretty steep climb up, and now we're facing a little bit more back down.
Hmm.
So it goes varying levels. But when you hold on to this for a longer period of time, when you keep your house and turn it into its own investment vehicle, there's just so much that it can do for you. Because if you're paying mortgage interest, you can write that off so you pay less taxes on your W-2, same as if you were to sell stocks and lose them. If this goes up and appreciates quite a bit and you make $50,000 on it, there are vehicles where you can keep that money and it's now bonus money to you when you sell that you could put into your next place. Or you can turn it into another property that is now its own rental
Hmm.
and becomes its own vehicle that you can tap into. And
Hmm.
all of that just gets bigger and bigger and bigger the more time we've got. So the big key point is just taking advantage of it while you've got the time.
Okay, I like that. So, what I'm taking away from this so far is the tax advantages of being a homeowner. And if you start with a single home, you can then take that equity as it grows and turn it into a second property, right? If you want.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
It could be a second property, or I mean, in our world, I've helped people get start businesses off of that money, where your vehicle grew on its own. And if you wanted to launch a company, but maybe didn't have the savings or were worried about a safety net, you could pull equity out of your house and start a new business, make that your fifth line of income as you continue going on. So it just
Mm.
duplicates your efforts enormously. It makes you more than one person.
All right. I like seeing the home as an investment. It's a great way to look at home ownership, and it's not just, hey, let's go buy a home. It's not just, hey, this is a dream, but there's power behind that. There's power behind having that home.
Power that you're creating and taking. One, I think a differentiator that I've got from what I've seen with other agents is when we go tour, I am not a fan at all of the perfect house fallacy.
Mm,
I don't believe it exists. I don't lean into the idea of let's go find the absolutely perfect dream home with everything buttoned up. I coach my clients that like what we're looking for is somebody took their home that they lived in, they raised a family in, that they was their first purchase, they got married in. Somebody took their home, they turned it into a house. They took all their pictures down. They moved some of their furniture out and they put it on the market for sale. And now we're going to go look at someone's house that at one point was their home. It won't be your home until you've closed, you've painted it the colors that you want, you've moved
mhm.
in your furniture, you have your pictures. Like at that point, it becomes a home. And until then, I think we need to buy for something that you're going to be happy with, that you can see yourself living here for at least 4 to 6 years, a minimum, um, and that you are willing to take on while it becomes your home. Because while you're there, your home is going to be all of the emotional, happy memories, things that you're creating, the difficult times. But in the background, it is still going to be that investment for you. We just want to make sure that you're set up for it to be its own vehicle that you also are using as an emotional storage, emotional place to be.
All right. Well, I mean, sounds like a no-brainer to me. So, do you work with first-time home buyers?
Absolutely. We do first time home buyers, downsizers. I deal with a lot of people who are helping mom and dad in terms of their end of life care or final stage homes. And then most recently, something that's been very exciting is doing a lot of multi generational, where we've
Mm.
got grandma and grandkid moving in together and just the power that that can look like, and even the properties that you can get with their we're seeing a lot more multi-gen housing. So I love all walks of life, helping you prepare for a sale and maximizing the money that you can make on it, helping you buy. And for first-time home buyers right now, because we're in kind of a declining market, it's just so much easier to get people who were not in a position where home ownership was ever
Mm.
possible because of how incredibly insane our rates have gotten. Now it absolutely is for some of those people because of what you can negotiate in and what you can ask for. So it's always a good time to look at your situation. The only thing I'd say is don't let Dr. Google analyze your situation because it's built for the masses. Everybody's individual, everybody needs their own battle plan. And I love doing that
Yes.
with first time home buyers, especially.
That's wonderful. So you work with first-time home buyers, those who are reducing, multi-generational families, like family units. Also divorce, right? So people that are going through divorce, you work with them too.
Yeah, there's an expression in my world, the 5 Ds of real estate does not matter what the market is, if it's a good market, if it's a bad market, the 5 Ds are still happening, and that is death, divorce, diplomas, downsizing, and diapers. So people still pass away. It doesn't matter what the market looks like. Somebody's might pass. Some people are not made to be, and divorce happens, and we need to start separating your assets. People graduate, get new jobs, are growing in their life. They're ready for that first time experience. Just, oh no, now I forgot that divorce, diplomas, diapers, and I forgot my last fifth. But families are growing with that. So life is still happening, is my point. We can handle all walks. You should always be looking at the bigger picture.
Yeah, that's great. When you talked about the assets of divorce, right?
Yeah.
Covering your assets, it made me think
Yeah.
about diapers.
Yeah. That's a big piece of it. Oh gosh. Well, and yeah, when kids come along and you're in a one bedroom condo or a 2 bedroom place and you might want a little bit bigger, few years in, like that's usually a pretty big trigger for a sale as well, or a transaction.
Mm, yeah, no, that's
It
good.
is still happening regardless of everything else.
So you can count on those things happening no matter what the economy is doing.
Yeah, they don't wait. That is life, and life will always find a way. This is Jurassic Park, as Malcolm said. So it's still going to happen, and kind of the biggest piece to lean into. It's just it's up to people like us to look at the situation. Like now is a it's a hard time to buy a house, but it
Okay.
is arguably the best time to buy. You can get a lot more off the top than pay a lower interest rate, but have to compete against 10 other offers and have to bring extra money to the table. So it's very situational. And I would say that in all things with all money, not just real estate, always be looking at the bigger picture and how you
Mm,
specifically fit into it. Because maybe it does work for you and maybe it doesn't. But you don't want to count yourself out on the sidelines just because the news told you so.
that's good. So
Yeah.
the difficulty that we're dealing with right now in real estate is that there's a lot of offers on the table. Is that what I'm hearing?
That was more of the case 21 to 2020,
Mm,
2021, up until about 2024.
mm,
Now it's inverse. So we went from having not enough inventory, not enough houses for sale, but a
mm,
lot of demand, a lot of buyers who wanted to get out
mm,
during quarantine, who didn't want to be trapped in their downtown rentals, who weren't going to work. So we had a
mm.
ton of demand and not enough inventory, not enough homes for sale. Now we flipped. We're technically speaking, it's a little more even, but in effective reality, it's a little more like this, where we've just got more houses available in Denver's market specifically than we've got current buyer demand. And because of that, buyers do have a little more power here um,
Gotcha.
to ask for what they want. And I mean, a good example is people think you need 20% down in order to buy. You don't. You need sometimes $1,000 at the most, 5% of the purchase price. That
Mm,
20% is a misconception that comes from PMI, private mortgage insurance. And in some cases, PMI might be $35 a month. Like it's not prohibitive. You don't need to wait to save 20% to save $30,000 to avoid $35 a month. So that's one to kind of blast away. It's just anyone's situation. Oh, and closing costs. So usually you need a down payment, and then you've got closing costs
mm.
where that's part of like where my fee comes in. That's part of where title and insurance and taxes and HOAs get paid. It's the transfer of the property. Typically sellers have their own closing costs, buyers have their own closing costs, but what you people need to realize is everything in real estate is negotiable, and you can shift that closing cost back and forth too. Sellers could during the pandemic, buyers can a little more now during this market, so it just opens up a
Okay.
lot of doors.
So the current market right now is that the buyers have a little bit more negotiating power.
Yes, in Denver's, and I am I have no crystal ball. I cannot guarantee the future, but in Nick's opinion, it's a very good time, especially if you're looking to get in for the first time. And the program's
Awesome.
available.
All right. So if any of you fit that demographic or anything that we've talked about, or you just want to hang out with Nick and have coffee with him, if you're in the Denver area, sit down and have coffee with him. He is genuinely a happy dude. So there's something that I wanted to just celebrate with you before we close the interview because this is cool. Um, you guys jumping on here before we started the actual interview, Nick told me a secret that we're not going to make a secret anymore. It's going to be a public potential win. So, enough suspense. Please, please, please share with us this opportunity that you have in your pipeline.
I I am excited, and a testament to Misty herself, putting yourself out into the universe, doing looking out for people's best interest. I had the honor of receiving a incredible lead that my wife Victoria found from one of her meetings. We had an hour meeting scheduled. We met for 2 hours right up against this interview, and it was truly a testament of just going in with open arms. I really thought it was going to be an investor interested in dipping their toes into this space, one or two in the next few years, and we've really opened up all of their options. And it does seem like this could be a 7 transaction deal in the next 2 years, which is incredible news for our business, incredible news for their business in terms of they could just do so much more than they thought they could after sitting down and hammering this out. So I am very grateful for such incredible people in my life and such a cool opportunity to come this way.
That's amazing. And it just shows everybody in the audience, like, keep being your best at what you're doing. You might have to be a little bit more patient with the economy right now, but opportunities are out there. And Nick just shows up consistently all the time. And this is what's come his way, which is incredible. What he thought was going to be a 1 property deal might turn into a 7 property deal. And I love how you think about both sides of the equation, not just the potential win for you and your family, but the win for the buyer, the investor that you're working with. It's like, what an amazing, momentous occasion to celebrate on their end of, I'm about to buy 7 properties. Like, imagine if that was you. Like,
Yeah,
I'm about to buy 7 properties. This feels so freaking amazing. Like,
it's insane. Well, and I feel like especially in my industry, there's a lot of sometimes negative blood, we'll say, and people who don't go by the right thing. And especially because we work on commissions, like if I
Mhm.
get that commission breath, if I start treating my clients like a number to make money off of instead of focusing on their end goal and the value that I'm providing, that's that's a situation where I might pay the bills that month or I close that deal and then burn the sustainability bridge. Like it's just you can't do that in this space. You have to do the
Mhm.
right thing at all times, at all corners, because otherwise you just burn the bridge and it's not sustainable to do that. I can't keep a business going forever treating people like that.
Right. And I believe that that's the motto I live by as well. So thank you for showing up in a good way and thinking about the sustainability of your business because yeah, we could go out there and try to hustle and sell as much as possible. I could do that in my business too, but what is that going to do to the longevity of my reputation?
Yeah. And people aren't numbers. That doesn't bring happy feelings at all. People are people.
Right. We got to keep it on brand. You're happy, I'm joyful. Let's go. Yes. All right, Nick. I know you need to get out of here. So before we close, what is your website? How can people get a hold of you? Is it your website?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So we are on all social handles at Nick Rizzi the Realtor, or Happy Homes in Co. Our website is happyhomesinco.com. So Happy Homes in Colorado. And we are always happy to reach out and connect. Feel free to email me off the website, nick@nickrizzi.com, if you want to check out anything else.
Awesome. So if you're in Denver and you don't know Nick, you need to know him. And if you're out of state and moving to Colorado, you need to know Nick. So he'll do a Zoom. He loves Zoom.
Yep. We got our own nice space. It's all official with an office now. So.
And I've seen it in person and it's pretty.
Need some art though. I need to get on Misty's level. We'll work on that next
Yeah,
time.
you're getting there. You're
Yeah.
getting there. I know what you're doing. So when it's there, let me know. It'll be super cool. Okay. You guys, thank you for listening to this episode. Thank you for laughing with us, laughing at us. And I hope you learned something that's going to help you create greater financial freedom for yourself and your family. So we will see you guys soon. Until next time, thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to the Wealthy Mind podcast. Please be sure to download the Wealthy Mind app today and make sure to support your local Dress for Success.